Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Marina, and here on my channel I share with you my journey with a hidden disability. I have a damaged foot, so a mobility issue, and I want to keep it real and show yourself my daily struggling. So I decided, what better way to do it than just to go outside during the snow, during the winter season, and show you how bad the street conditions are here in my hometown. So even the big roads are not completely clean. So every house needs to take care of their self. I think it's similar in the US and the United Kingdom, but people just don't care. They think just to ship a little bit of snow away is enough. But I can guarantee you, no, it's not. As you see, when this stuff is going to melt again, and then during the night it's freezing over, you can play curling on those roads. And this is what's happening at the moment every day. We have a really, really rough winter. We are not used to it anymore here in the north of Germany. South of Germany is a different beast because you have the Alps and you have a lot of snow down there. But here, normally, it's pretty chilled. And people just don't care. As you see, try to walk with a damaged foot on those roads. You are scared of tripping over, falling down the whole time. Here in my state, it's okay to use salt. In Berlin, for an example, salt is not allowed anymore. And a lot of people are falling down, breaking their bones, ending up in hospital, and the government is like, no, it's bad for the environment. We don't care about actual human beings and human lives. And there is a lot of protest going on at the moment because I'm not talking about using salt all over the place. I know it's bad for the environment, but use a little bit of salt so the ice underneath can melt down and it's again safe to walk because, as you see, those conditions can't be the solution. It's way too dangerous. When I'm getting rid of the snow in front of my house, I'm using salt all the time. A little bit, it's enough just to clean all the stuff up. And so my road in front of my house is never slippery. And I guess you can see where people with mobility issues are living because those houses are usually cleaned up really, really well. And in the winter months, you barely see someone on a walker or in a wheelchair or on crutches because it's just not safe. And I hear people talking about, then just stay at home. Yes, this is just a little bit of hiking for me. I easily could stay at home. But guess what? People like me still needs to go to the doctor, still needs to go grocery shopping. And not everyone owns a car because owning a car here in Germany is pretty pricey and ridiculous. And you can't park anywhere in our cities. And we don't have Uber here, especially not here in Kiel in the north of Germany. It's not allowed because if you want to make an Uber, be an Uber driver, you need to have a taxi license. Only with a license you are allowed to transport people. So taxi prices are really, really expensive. Not everyone can afford it. And I'm just asking for, please clean up the roads. Nothing more, nothing less. And I had a pretty rough argument the other day because I was cleaning my road and a girl with her little puppy came. The puppy was really sweet, and I love animals. I own chicken, and I love Thor, the guide dog of my blind friend. And she started yelling at me. Without further notice, she started yelling at me that I am a bad person, cruel to animals, and should be ashamed. And at that moment, I was like, I couldn't connect the dots. I was like, what is happening? Why? What did I do wrong? I'm just cleaning up my road. And she was like, you are using salt. You are killing all the animals. And my poor dog now can't walk. I need to carry him about your part of the street. And I was like, sorry, but nearly the whole street is using salt. Then have fun carrying your dog. I'm like, I know Thor has really sensitive paws too. He just is wearing shoes all the time in the winter. And if you are training your dog well, it's not a problem to put those shoes on and they feel comfortable with it. And I'm so sorry to say it, but the world is not spinning around you and your dog. For me, it's more important that people are safe, that people are not falling over in front of my house, because then they can sue me. And I have not that kind of money to go to a judge and telling them, yeah, it's my fault that people are tripping over in front of my garden. But she was just living in her own reality and was like, people like you should go to jail. I was like, pardon? I just ignore her at one point because she was going at me for, I think, 10 minutes, and I was just like, oh, please. As I finished, I just closed the door behind me and ignored her because it's ridiculous. I know your puppy is bad for her paws, but you are walking here on a main road. Then maybe don't go for a walk with your dog on a main road and go in a forest. We have a lot of nature parks here you need to go 10 minutes and you are in a nature park. Walk there with your dog. No problems, no salt uses, everything is fine. We have a forest 2 minutes away. No salt, everything nature, fine for your dog. But I don't want to sound like I hate dogs. It's not the case, but I'm like, please, we need to live together with each other. We need to find a solution. And sand is not the solution, because if you just throw sand above the icy sheet, the icy part, you will still slip. The sand is going away because people are getting the stuff under the shoes. I saw it a lot of times. And after a couple of hours, it's just ice again. And this is really a mess up if you use a lot of the sand afterwards to clean when the winter is over. Then you need to get rid of all the sand in front of your house. So the salt is just going away. I know it's bad for the environment. I know. Don't get at me, but I think we need to find a balance. We need to find a balance. And with people like these, I am not even trying to argue. I'm not even trying to explain my disability. Because, their focus is just on their selves, and they are just living in their own worlds. They don't have the capacity to realize that there were maybe bigger problems than that her dog has bad paws after a walk. I mean, my father has also a dog, and after he is going out for a walk in the winter, he just cleans his paws, makes sure to use some cream and stuff like that, and he had never any issues with the paws of the dog. And I mean, I find it just ridiculous. That's more important that a dog has good paws than that a person like me can leave the house. This is so ridiculous because, as I said, people like me maybe needs to go to the doctors. We can't just lock the door and don't leave the house for half a year because it's winter. It just makes me sad because, as you see, I can still walk. I am still able to walk and have a nice little hike. But there were a lot of people that can't because it's not safe for them to go outside. Maybe I take you guys with me at one specific bridge here in my hometown because it's really, really steep. And because it's between two cities. And neither city feels responsible for the part of the bridge. So it's not getting cleaned and not getting cared for in the winter. And as I said, you can play curling on this road. Even normal people are struggling. I see people on all of on their knees to get across this bridge. And no one's taking care. And I'm just like, it's not like people like me. And the fun part is it's a bridge that's crossing a train station spot. So if you fall down this bridge, you are ending up in front of a train. What a nice way to die, just because no one is taking care. And I'm just like, why? Why is our society behaving in this way? I'm just asking for just look out for each other. The same, I was using the bus yesterday, and I mean, I can laugh about stuff like that, but you can clearly see that the bus driver wasn't even realizing what she was doing. I mean, there was someone with a child buggy, and I were trying to leave the bus. And she opened the door exactly in front of a garbage bin, of a litter bin. And I had serious problem getting out of the bus because everything was icy around it. And yeah, the poor girl with the small children wasn't able to leave the bus. And the bus driver didn't realize it. And I was like, can you please move forward a couple of inches? And she started yelling at me, I don't have the time, please leave the bus. And I was like, I would gladly do so, but she is not able to leave the bus because, you see, clearly it's not happening because everything is blocked and she can't go outside of the bus. And the bus driver was so annoyed, and I was just like, it's not her fault. It's not her fault. And yeah, stuff like this is happening day by day by day. And as I told you, I was working as a journalist for a major news station here, and I did a lot of inclusion stuff. And we can have later on a talk about stuff eyewitnesses. And some stuff of this is still making me mad. And I'm talking really, really mad. A co-worker of mine was sued by Deutsche Bahn, by our train services, because she showed the reality for a wheelchair user using our train system. And they are spreading fake news because they just don't care. They don't want to have any issues. They don't want to have more workload. I understand this work sucks. But there was a part of the train always reserved for wheelchair user. But as I said, people just don't care. I witnessed a wheelchair user was not able to board the train because 20 bicycles were stuffed into the wheelchair user section. And I was like, please make room. It's a section for wheelchair users, and it says clearly bikes are only allowed if space is available. They started yelling at me. Someone really pushed me out of the train because he was like, we don't care what you're telling me. The wheelchair user had a really, really important meeting, and I was like, I know one of our cruise ships is here and they are shuttling to Hamburg. Let's go down and talk to them, no problem. They took him to Hamburg Central Station. He was there half an hour earlier than the train, but I was just like, they were clearly talking about just having a couple of, they just wanted to go to the next station, which is a bike journey from 20 minutes to have a nice journey around the lake. And I was just so angry because they could clearly have waited for the next train, which was departed 20 minutes later. They could use their bikes to go there, but no, the wheelchair user. And the problem is our train staff are just, I understand why, but they don't want to have those kinds of arguments. When stuff like this is occurring, you will never see a train attendant because this work sucks. As I said, I understand. I don't want to have those arguments day and day, over and over again. But I think it's ridiculous. And I have a lot of those stories too. Most of the time I try to take the stand of the people with a disability because I know how it feels to let down by society and no one is helping them. And I hope this channel, this video, and all of the stuff I'm sharing with you is encouraging you just to do the same. If you see someone with a disability struggling, please make sure to go up to him and ask if you can help. Because when you witness stuff like this happening in a train, it's just sad. So this is all for today's video. I hope you find it quite interesting, just to show you a little bit around of how the situation is in the winter for people like me. Have a nice day and goodbye.